What is going on, everyone? My name is Under the Radar, and welcome back to the Draft League Viability. Today's going to be a little bit different of a video. I had a video recorded about comparing Nidoqueen and Nidoking, and then I started to record with the two cunts that have really cute butts, and I was like, why not just re-record it with them because I like them? So go ahead and introduce yourself once again, peeps.
Hi, I'm Schady.
I did the
I play
shit thing
Pokemon
last
for
time,
PPL.
so I'm not going to do that. Hi, I'm Monotooi. I also do PPL.
I did the
Yeah, but like he's the lesser version of the PPL. He's D2, the scrub version.
I'm also the only
Not
one
for
who
long, but
lost.
hey.
How many Megalopony kills do you have, Mono?
18.
18 Megalopony kills. And how many games?
I
8?
have 11. I have 11.
18 in 7 games.
That's so dumb.
I have 11 in 5 games, I think.
That's so
Also,
dumb.
it has been hit.
Six games.
It has been hit with a move once all season.
That's so stupid. Anyway, back to the point of this video. We are going to be comparing Nidoqueen and Nidoking today, which is better in our opinion, which one we would draft, and which one we think has more utility and coverage, which is stupid to say because they all have really good coverage, more as a broad answer to things in draft format. So, just off the top of your head, which one would you guys rather have in draft format every day of the week?
Nidoqueen.
Nidoqueen for me too. Why would you rather
Which is funny because in season 1 I dropped Nidoqueen for Nidoking, but it was all matchup dependent. So.
Yeah.
Fun fact of the day.
Why would you rather have Nidoqueen than Nidoking, Mono?
Well, they're both kind of slow. Nidoqueen at 76 and Nidoking at 85. 85 is okay for a wall breaker, but it's relatively easily revenge killed because it's not super bulky. However, Nidoqueen, while still being relatively slow, has the bulk to really help it out.
Oh, yeah.
And while still having the offensive presence, like we just discussed, a modest Nidoqueen hits a little bit harder than a timid Nidoking, and usually you're going to be running timid Nidoking to outspeed base 80s and things like that. Nidoqueen, you're mainly going to be running modest because you're going to have a lot of bulk investment. Nidoqueen is a much safer switch into electric types because even if they're running HP Ice, a lot of them do not 2 a KO Nidoqueen, whereas they do 2 a KO Nidoking.
Plus, if you run a Scarf Nidoqueen to like surprise people, because they normally expect the bulky Nidoqueen. Like when I was facing Sam, I fully expected the bulky Nidoqueen, and then it didn't show up at all, and I was like, shit. Then he ran Choice Scarf Nidoqueen one week, and the other person was like, shit. So it can be a really good surprise factor every single week, basically no matter what it is. Where Nidoking, I'm sorry, you're kind of like, it's going to be stupid offensive. I need to switch in.
Absolutely. And Nidoqueen is a more reliable stealth rocker. It's a more reliable toxic spike setter.
Yep.
It's the utility moves that both of them get are just better with Nidoqueen being Roar and Dragon Tail. I guess disable if you want to do that.
If you want to be a man and run the sub disable to cripple choice users, that's always cool.
Bob did it once. Bob runs up the Nidoqueen once.
All right.
God damn it, Bob.
Shout out to him.
Shout out to Bob. But overall, I think even the fact that Nidoqueen might not hit as hard, it hits hard enough to where it's still stupid scary. Like, there's still hardly any switch-ins to it if you run it fully offensive. Like, can you think of any main switch-ins off the top of your head?
Seismitoad, P2.
Even Seismitoad's like not a great switch-in because Earth Power, like Life Orb Earth
It is, unless they run HP fast. It doesn't take more than half.
But I guess probably Cresselia, just because I think the stats are enough to take Shadow Balls and Crunches.
Yep. Yeah. I ran a max HP, max Spadef Assault Vest Dust Noir to counter a Nidoking.
Yeah,
so I would assume it would take on
Nidoking. That kind of work.
Well.
Like Assault Vest Reuniclus kind of works.
But even then, it's like
unless not against Nidoqueen because that gets crunch, unlike Nidoking, which is stupid.
Very true.
Yeah,
because girls are biters. Keep that in mind, kids. Girls are biters. Don't let them near your area.
Keep your dick away from them. I mean, what?
Yeah. And I mean, Nidoking gets Mega Horn, but that's beside the point.
Yeah.
Who cares? Like, you're gonna kill Celebi anyway.
Especially since, like, some of the weird, outlandish coverage it gets, you're not going to want to run it because Bolt Beam, Fire, Stab, Stealth Rocks, and all this other shit can sometimes almost be more useful in a matchup than all this other stuff because you don't have sweepers that get that insane coverage like Nidoqueen and Nidoking do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I guess also, one thing I would give Nidoking, I guess, a little bit more of an advantage towards is Nidoqueen. You're going to consider, I think, more times than Nidoking your stealth rocker, and both of these mons have occasional 4-move slot syndrome. But when you're going to want this thing to be your stealth rocker, then now you're even limiting yourself more.
Yeah.
That's
Not
true.
that Nidoking can't be a rocker,
I mean-
it's decent at it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And I just don't see what Nidoking does better. I know it hits harder a little bit. Yeah, it's a better Scarfer. That's the main thing. It's a better Scarfer. But Nidoqueen is a better surprise Scarfer, so there's that. Nidoqueen just takes hits while dishing out very, very similar amounts of damage to Nidoking, to the point where it doesn't fucking matter which one it is because it's so similar. Nidoqueen also has a slight move pool advantage, which I didn't know until right just now, that it gets Crunch and Pursuit, which Nidoking doesn't. I thought they both got it.
Yeah.
Well, only Nidoqueen. Like, Pursuit is a very niche move, but in draft format, it could definitely come in handy for like a Ghost Sub or whatever.
Definitely.
Not even that,
Not for
but
psychic types.
but
Don't
being
do
able
that.
to scare out things like Velades and other bulky psychic types. Like you wouldn't scare it out with the Nidos, but you know what I mean. You could hit it super
You
effectively.
can bluff like a Scarf and then pursue them. That'd be
Yeah,
a manly
exactly.
play.
Bluff Scarf, bluff the Sucker Punch.
Yeah, exactly. You have to
Yeah,
bluff
the Scarf,
twice
Sucker Punch.
and then hit them with the pursuit.
Yeah, and also the moves that Nidoking gets that Nidoqueen does not are, I believe so far the only thing I've seen are Mega Horn and Head Smash. Head Smash, you're going to be killing yourself and you get Sheer Force Rock Slide anyway.
Yep.
And Mega Horn, I guess, is good for some things, but like for grass types you have Stab, Sludge Wave. For psychic types you have Crunch with Nidoqueen, so I don't really think it's worth it there.
Oh no, not at all.
Yeah, I don't see. I just don't see it.
So you guys would rather have Nidoqueen over Nidoking any day of the week. What would you like to pair up with your Nidoqueen? Aside from Manaphy, because aside from that bitch, because that's the reason why we're covering these two, is because we said in the last video that you need a good bulky ground or a good ground type in general. And these two are some really good underrated ground types that match up really well with Manaphy because they're not weak to grass because of poison, ground, neutral. Do your homework, kids. And then it's pretty cool. So what would you like to pair up with Nidoqueen and Nidoking?
Like, I mean, of course, similarly to Manaphy, just other bulky waters to deal with incoming Scalds, Ice Beams, as well as being able to check most ground types that Nidoqueen does not really want to deal with.
Yep.
I think good grass type works really well. Something like a Shaman works.
Yeah, I was about to say a
amazing.
really
Like,
good
get two
grass
ground
type to take
moves.
EQs.
And like one of the few things that can kind of switch into the Nidos are bulky waters because you're not usually going to run a Thunderbolt. Just because 4 moves doesn't run them again. And even then, something like Melodic and Shoot Out and Shaman just destroys that thing. So hey, that's a good option. Also choose Scald, as you just said. So that's cool.
It does.
Also something like a Frail Laken Cleaner, like Mega Lopunny, or Mega Arrow even, which is frail, but
Oh yeah.
works well because the thing just puts in chip damage. Like, and by chip damage I mean like 60% to almost everything.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool for cleanup.
Yeah, Nidoqueen likes those fast cleaners for the end of the games to be paired with because this thing as a wall breaker can weaken your opposing walls. It gets 2 forms of hazards and toxic spikes and stealth rocks to help break stashes or just get chip damage on things for the cleaners. So yeah, like you said, Mega Lopunny, Mega Aerodactyl, just other fast things, Greninja maybe.
One thing I think
I'm
that
getting more and more sad that I didn't get Nidoqueen now.
one thing that I think none of us are mentioning is the fact that I think that a good spikes user along with a good spin blocker is always nice because if you have the option to have this much hazards on your team, you want to have a good spin blocker. Like, and by good, I don't mean Gengar because Gengar is frail. It's not a good spin blocker. I mean like a Jellicent, a Dusknoir, Coffagrigus. Like there's so many good spin blockers that are bulky that would be better.
Yeah, that's a big reason why I drafted Jellicent along with this thing. Like I said, it works well
And
with bulky.
Ferrothorn. Because
Yes, and Ferrothorn as well.
Very good grass type and then a good spin blocker with it that also gets spikes. So.
Not only is it a
and
good
Mega
spin...
Hey.
Okay, so not only is it a good spin blocker, it's also a bulky water type that deals with everything that Nidoqueen doesn't like, aside from powerful EQ.
But basically...
Also, like a dark type Pursuit River could work, because like you're going to want a psychic type move the thing. And if you don't...
So like even Weavile would be a really good like offensive frail sweeper, because knockoff spam is stupid scary, along with ice spam, so you're not forced to run ice beam, so that takes up some of the 4 move slot syndrome off its back.
Yeah, and then it'll also then run Thunderbolt for the bulky waters, which both of them don't really enjoy.
Yep.
So that's cool.
Exactly. What grade would you guys give Nidoking?
Nidoking...
King, the one with the penis.
Yeah, I mean, we've been, like... we've been like saying how Nidoqueen is like superior in like every way or whatever, but Nidoking is still good. Like there still is like no good switch in, and it's still an excellent wall breaker. Can still break through teams. Has priority sucker punch for offensive psychics that can potentially check it. I would probably give Nidoking a B plus.
Yeah,
What would you
I
give it,
can
Schady?
agree with that. I like B plus. I'd say B.
Yeah, I was gonna say a B
Or B.
because while this thing is a little inferior to Nidoqueen, realistically, if you don't team build for it properly, you're gonna lose to it.
Yeah, like it destroys.
Like if you have a
bulky
defensive team, you also get fucked.
Exactly. Like that's what happened when I was facing Jack. He saved it till the very end, and then I had nothing for it. It's just there are.
Yeah.
It's more of a pain to deal with in team building, in my opinion, with Nidoking.
Mhm.
But that's just
Fair.
my opinion. I know some people dislike calculating for Nidoqueen because they can run modest. Then it's bulky. It takes hits a little bit better, so then it can get off more hits. So I can understand that. I would give Nidoqueen. Since I gave Nidoking a B, I'm going to give Nidoqueen a B plus.
I would give it an A
Okay.
minus. I
A
think
minus. Wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with like A minus B plus. That's what I'm like that range.
A minus
Makes-
because like Nidoqueen, like again, it's just a reliable ground type. It's the mix between not like they're obviously very different mons, but it's the mix between things like Hippowdon, which are mainly just bulky stops to electric types, as well as something like Excadrill, which while again which is mainly going to be built offensively, can be kind of bulky with an Assault Vest, but Nidoqueen is kind of a nice blend of those. It's something that can be reliably switched into most electric types and still fire off a very big hit afterwards.
Oh yeah.
It also needs wood fairy types, which are scary in the
Oh, yeah,
format.
it's
And very
an
Oh
good.
yeah.
excellent fairy killer.
How do we even miss mentioning that? This thing is an amazing fairy type because you have something like Sylveon, which could possibly take sludge waves. You run poison jab.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Or you want
like,
Payapa Berry Jab for Mega Gardevoir.
Yeah.
yep, and I guess another reason why Nidoqueen's superior, with its added bulk, can take Moonblasts, even pixelate Hyper Voices better than Nidoking. Can take Unstab
Can also
Psychics
live like a
relatively well.
Psyshock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Nidoking does not live Spec Psyshock from Sylveon, Nidoqueen can.
That's actually really interesting. I didn't know that, Calc.
Now you do.
The more you know, kids, the more you know. Knowledge is power.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I think that's where we're going to end off this video. I enjoyed doing this a lot just because I think that comparing two very similar Mons is really cool. Like comparing Jirachi and Mew. I think comparing two Mons in League format is actually pretty cool. But if you guys did enjoy it, please make sure to leave a like. Also, make sure to go check out these guys' channels because they're really freaking cool. They're always really nice to me, except for when they 6-0 me with Manaphy. So that's a thing. And yeah, go give them some love. Mono's almost at 100 subs, so if we could like bump him up to 100 subs, that would be absolutely amazing. And why is Moji Toji M
I
calling?
agree.
But overall, I hope you guys have an absolutely fantastic day, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You.